Welcome everyone. Today we're going to do about some concepts of breath work and misconceptions. What's fascinating about, and I'm going to talk about the three gases first. I'll make it a little short, not too much detail in physiology, but there are three gases that are very important. You see, the oxygen is carried by the element within the red blood cells. Red blood cells are the ones that are important. They carry the oxygen. So as many people have enough number of red cells, that is fine. But people who don't have enough red cells, they can have anemia and they can have a problem. However, within the red cell, there is a component called hemoglobin. Everybody knows that, what the hemoglobin is. The hemoglobin contains iron. And iron is an element that carries oxygen molecules. You know, the oxygen that comes to the air in the lungs, and each one carries four of them, four molecules. I mean, it's that strong. Iron, it's an iron, after all. It makes sense to carry four, and so it carries four of them. And then, so if you have enough iron, that's great. If you don't have iron, we have a problem. Again, we know about iron deficiency, so I'm not going to go into details there. Something else that's important: hemoglobin has a protein, globin. Globin is a protein, so it's a combination of iron and protein. However, there are two more things that are carried by this this particular hemoglobin, and that is, believe it or not, nitric oxide and oxygen. I did say oxygen is carried, right? Four, but it also carries nitric oxide. These are two gases that are created by the body. Oxygen is getting from the air, and nitric oxide is created mostly in the sinus area. Just for example, in this area, when we inhale, there are big cavities here, nose cavity and sinus cavity. That's where they are created, and that's why open sinuses. We talk about humming, make sure this everything is open and all, and good air. And sinuses create nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is, as Deepak Bhai pointed out, it kills the bacteria, kills the viruses, opens up the blood vessels so that more blood circulation happens, and also opens up the airways. It's a fantastic chemical. And we only came to know in 1990s, believe it or not, more importance of it. I was doing blood vessel surgery, and we started to recognize the importance of nitric oxide in all blood vessels and heart surgery and everything else. Now, these two are carried by the cells, the hemoglobin. And they go to the area, supposing they're going to my brain. Okay, I'm just going to show you here. Supposing there is a little vessel going, this is a small vessel going to the brain, and there's lots of hemoglobin that's carrying oxygen and nitric oxide. Now what happens is, there are some tissues that have already used up. My brain was working too much, and now I don't have enough oxygen. That happens. So I did a lot of muscular exercise, and I don't have enough oxygen in the muscle. These tissues, they call it hypoxia. Hypoxia means less oxygen or lack of enough blood flow, and also lack of oxygen. When that signal comes in, there are two things happen. And I'll give you a corollary to that, how to understand that. Because ultimately the idea is the oxygen needs to be delivered to the cells. It's a delivery system. And nitric oxide is a message system. How does it work? I'll give you an example. We are in an area where it snows, okay? And not everybody may recognize it. Florida may not understand it. But when we have snow and the walkway, say my house is out there in the street, the Amazon guy comes to deliver package. And the snow is all blocking it. Now what happens is, the guy has to what? Shovel the snow. He has to clear the snow before he can come to the home and put the package in. You get that picture? So the delivery of that package does not happen until the opening happens, open the walkway. Same exact thing happens in the cell area, because supposing this is a vessel that's going to one of my cells in the brain, and brain needs it, this guy needs it, then the nitric oxide is released. First, nitric oxide is released by the hemoglobin. And the nitric oxide, as we said, it opens up the vessels, it opens up the area, and the whole area opens up, and then oxygen is delivered. So these two work in, combination, very wonderful combination that they have, and that's how the oxygen happens. Now, the third gas is the carbon dioxide. Interesting part about the carbon dioxide it is that it is generated because of our metabolism. When the cells continue use the sugar, glucose, and it generates carbon dioxide and water. And carbon dioxide has two properties. One is it has acidic, carbonic acid. You probably heard about that one. But it is a little bit of an acid. And so if too much of acid is collected, then it's a problem. But carbon dioxide itself also opens up the blood vessels. That's also similar to nitric oxide, opens up. So that is an important part to think about. So that has to be removed after the blood vessels are opened. The carbon dioxide gets into the hemoglobin part and the circulation continues. So this is the three gases, tail of three gases, which work, in combination with each other, and how it works. And we can do in the next recording, we can talk about how next section we'll talk about these three a little bit further.